All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. And now, the minutes of the meeting, and my computer that I was looking at the agenda just went off, so I'll wing it from this point on. The minutes of the whatever the June meeting was. Are there additions or corrections to the minutes? And if there are not, a motion would be in order to approve.
Adam Thomas, so moved.
Adam Thomas made the motion, and somebody else? I second by
Adam Prophet.
Okay, got it. Thank you. The Adams. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Good.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Now, before I turn this over to Doug, there are some housekeeping things I want to discuss, and I need an opinion, but I'll get your opinion at the end. But I want you to be discussing these things. When we get these reports, when we get the pre-read, they are hundreds of pages long, and most of what's on those are things that we have already approved. So for instance, there may be a school that has one addition to be reviewed by the committee and another 40 that have already been approved. And all of that is presented to us each month. My question is, do we still need that, or do we only need the information about the recommendations that are currently under consideration? We are not reconsidering anything that's already been approved. So that's point number one. And I'm going to take I'm not going to make those unilateral decisions. I'm going to ask for the opinion. My understanding that if we eliminated that part of it, we would also eliminate about 60 to 70% of the pages that you get. There's another issue that we also approved. Every application that we have before us has already been approved. We're only dealing with change orders or change requests. Do we still need all of the pre-information about collaboration and all that? Again, I don't have an opinion, but it would cut this. If we eliminated that, it would. And we're not killing trees because everything is going electronically. So it's not like we're killing trees. And if if we need that information, we'll still do that. But we could cut this down probably. We could cut the amount of material down probably 80 or 90% if we just presented to the task force information about what was actually being considered on that day. Give that a thought. And at the end of the meeting today, we'll discuss whether or not you would how we want to proceed on that issue. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Doug.
Thank you, Chairman Porter. And so we'll start this month. We actually have one ESER 2 change to present to you, and it is from Coffeyville.
Doug, we're not seeing a PowerPoint. If you have a PowerPoint up.
Well, I do. Oh, I forgot to hit share. Sorry. Now do you?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So ESER 2 change, we've only got one, that's Coffeyville, and they had a bunch of things that came in under budget and moved some money around in order to provide retention pay for their staff and to buy some software. So that is the only ESER 2 change that we have right now.
Any questions about the ESER 2 change? Go ahead.
And I was just going to say that makes the ESER 2 still sitting at 76% for the teaching and learning pieces.
Okay, thank you. And if there are no questions, the motion will be in order to approve this ESER 2 change.
This is Bert, and I so move.
Thank you, Bert. Second by Nick. Thank you, Nick. All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much. And now back to ESER 3 changes.
Okay, so moving to ESER 3s, we've got 32 districts that submitted changes and new items, $112 million total in their plans, including the changes and the new items. And so as we go through those, we've got Lynn that uses up the rest of their allocation for a small HVAC project, some AC units. Republic County uses, doesn't change their amount, moves money around to pay for salaries for some new teachers they want to hire. Riverside uses the rest of theirs up for some teacher laptops, 33,000. Bonner Springs, 108,000 for some software. Northern Valley spends almost what's left of theirs. They've still got $700 left, but that's for some hands-free water fountains. Hodgman, big HVAC project, uses up the rest of their allocation. Gardner Edgerton, moves money around for some salaries, that uses up what's left of their allocation. And then Twin Valley moves money around for some salaries. No net changes on those. Then next is Girard, 33,000 for curriculum. Emporia, almost 600,000 in salaries. Barber County uses 142,000 for an HVAC project, which uses up the rest of their allocation. Iola uses the rest of their allocation up for window replacements in their building, old windows that wouldn't open so they can increase circulation. Humboldt, 153,000 for salaries. Graham, they moved some money around, removed some items to provide more retention pay, but they didn't spend as much as what they took out. So they actually went $30,000 the other direction. Golden Plains, no net change, but they moved money around for some salaries and retention pay. Southern Cloud uses up the rest of theirs, $40,000 for curriculum. And I did want to mention on Golden Plains, they actually pretty much, this is almost a brand new application for them. They wiped out just about everything they had and started over. So those are all new line items for Golden Plains.
Okay, and Doug, we have a question from Alyssa.
Okay.
Doug, would you go back one slide?
Is that the right one?
It hasn't moved. So so the Girard request to spend on letters training. I know we like letters training and it's important. I'm curious. I don't have a problem with this per se, but I am curious. I know that the agency has made letters training available. So can you speak to why the district is investing in this manner on their own?
So because there are other costs associated with that training besides what the agency is paying for or providing. So there's travel, there's they may be paying stipends for those staff to attend those. It is extra work to do it right. So there are other costs associated with it besides what we're paying for.
Excellent to know, and it is important to see. So appreciate that they are embracing it and handling it this way. Thank you.
And another issue, Melissa, I think Randy's on this, so he'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that letters training is for basically early elementary teachers, and some school districts are providing that to others. Is that right, Randy? Or am I wrong there?
That is correct. It's for early childhood teachers, elementary teachers, SPED teachers that serve that, and administrators that would serve that. Some districts are choosing to train even their middle school staff. Some districts, as Doug said, are also paying stipends for people to go take the training, and some are paying travel expenses, and some are even doing some premium pay if they complete the training. All that's outside of what we are doing as a state, which is provide the training itself to that group of people.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Doug.
So moving on, McLeod, just moving money around for some premium pay, Chaparral, $120,000 in sanitation supplies. That was one that kind of raised our eyebrows. And so when we checked, this was above and beyond what they would normally spend in their maintenance. So our initial thought was they were just buying all their janitorial supplies with this money, but it's not. This is above and beyond what they normally spend. Atchison County moving money around for premium pay. Ellis was buying some software. They removed some items, but then didn't spend as much as what they'd removed. So they went $40,000 the other direction. Douglas is like Golden Plains. They pretty much started over. So all of these are new items, a lot of salaries included in that. Peabody Burns uses the rest of their allocation up for some PD. Otis Bison, a big HVAC project, uses the rest of theirs. Sorry, forgot to advance this. No, I'm in the right place, aren't I? Yeah. Otis Bison, HVAC uses the rest of theirs. Then Gossel uses the rest of their allocation up for some salaries. Dodge City, premium pay and books. Central uses the rest of theirs up for curriculum. Liberal, big HVAC projects, and then some teacher training. Rural Vista, salaries and premium pay, they removed some items, but still didn't spend as much as what they had removed. So they went $200,000 the other direction. Then El Dorado, HVAC project uses up the rest of theirs. Lawrence, moved money around for premium pay and salaries. Topeka, moved a lot of money around to provide more premium pay for their staff. And then the last one, Parsons, $480,000 for an HVAC project. So the totals are here. We're still setting at 80% going towards the teaching and learning categories. We're down to just over $27 million that has not been earmarked of ESSER 3 funding. So that's out of 760,000. So I think we're looking like we're in pretty good shape right now.
Yeah, remind me, please, when is the deadline for the final approval? Where is the light at the end of this tunnel?
We've got about 14 months left of ESSER 3. September 30th of 2024, everything has to be encumbered.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? Anything else from you, Doug?
I do not have anything. It's up to you all.
So a motion to approve would be in order. Seeing no questions.
Mr. Chair, this is Melissa Rooker. I move to approve the slate as presented.
Thank you very much. Is there a second to that motion? Bert seconds that motion. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? There's the motion carries. And now, how do you want information presented to you in the future? I'm going to shut up. Now, you probably need to call Ripley's, believe it or not, because that's an unusual occurrence. But I need to know what your opinion is, because we'll do what the group wants.
Mr. Chairman, I might just put this out for the group as they contemplate what to do. You would reduce it, at least this month, from around 1,000 to 200 pages. So you can see what the reduction would be if you did it this way. I think you want to balance, and because that would then be sent to the Board of Education also. Any patron could request all of the documentation and they would be released, but most people don't do the request. They just look at what's in a packet. So I want, as you think about it, what's the level of transparency that you want to have? What's the level of looking at things, and balancing those needs? And I know Kathy's not on here today, But that would also be true for the state board as to what you think they would see. So what as Jim pointed out, you would see what the initial changes are. There would be nothing that you wouldn't see that is going to be approved. Everything would have already been approved, but some people would say, well, I need to see that in order to make sense out of the new. I just want to point that out as you debate it.
And Doug, I'll warn you that whenever we present these to the State Board of Education next week, I'm going to ask them the same questions. What do you want to be presented? Because that we have two audiences. We have three audiences. We have you, we have the State Board of Education, and we have the general public, and we need to make sure that we meet the needs of all three of those constituents.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question? And really, it's just, I'll just go ahead and ask it. So you're putting that question to both this committee as well as state board. It's not outside of the realm of possibility that we could decide different things. There could be two different presentations. Is that accurate, or does it need to be the same for both groups?
That shows your wisdom, sir. There can be two different groups.
All right, very good. And to Commissioner Watson's point, if we go with the skin it up version, for lack of better terms, the other information is still available upon request, and we could even put a page at the front that says, this is condensed version, please contact X for the full version, right? Yeah.
Correct.
I personally speaking, I don't make it through all 985 pages for this month, so I am in favor of looking and focusing in. I think that's the job of this board. The Department of Education does a really nice job of doing all the background work for us and determining what is and is not eligible and asking the follow-ups. And while we should be reviewing and asking follow-ups, my personal opinion is we should be focused in on the information that we're actually approving. So I would be in favor of the skinned up version.
I'm
Okay.
assuming that if an issue comes up later in the year with a particular district, we request that district and look at it. Otherwise, it seems irrelevant to have that whole packet if it's already passed. And if it's archived, we can go back for reference. Makes sense.
If you would like, I could show you what it might look like.
Yes.
So we'll just take Cheyenne as an example from today. You would see all of the items that have been approved. The new item would be the first one at the top. And then there would be a page explaining what that item is. So Cheyenne's would amount to 2 pages. And so then we.
Doug, could you enlarge that on your screen, please?
Sure. I think I can.
That's much better. Thank you.
Okay. So then here's Republic. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new items. So you would get everything that's new and then what's already been approved. And then there would be a page for each of the new items. So theirs would be 9 pages long, but you would get rid of all of the narratives and all of those other pieces.
I like this approach. This is Melissa Rooker. We handle things in similar fashion in our grant making processes, and when there are amendments, we single out what is changing rather than reorienting from ground zero up. So I appreciate this approach. It would make preparation for the meeting much easier to handle.
Well, I know whenever I'm reviewing the packet, I spend most of my time flipping through what I've already seen so I can find what's new. So.
And this is Lisa Peters. I agree. The shorter, the better.
Is there anyone who objects to this, what has been referred to as the skinny version? With the clear understanding that anybody can request anything additional if they need them at any time. To make it official, a motion to that order would be in effect that Jamie.
I'll make the motion.
Makes the motion, seconded by
Madam Prophet.
Nick, Melissa, and Adam. Okay. So, any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? I don't see any. Thank you very much for your help. Next week, next time. Oh, we are not planning on meeting next month unless there are things that has to be done that are time sensitive. I think that we can plan at this point to meet every other month. But with the caveat that if something comes up that is time sensitive and needs to be done right now, we can change that schedule. We appreciate your willingness to continue to do this. As every time I get that thing that's 1,000 pages long, I just think, well, you know, I mutter under my breath, but I think that we're going to save ourselves a lot of time and be more productive in the process. Thank you very much for your time. If there's nothing else, this meeting is adjourned.